the world that we live in isn't that simple anymore. Excuse me. I think when you introduce like money and because you gotta think like, bro, money is not even real.
It's not.
It's not even real. But you got people that die over it. They work their whole life for it. They risk their life for it.
Yeah.
Like it's but it's not real. It's
Facts.
intangible. Like it's not real. So I don't know. I think that when you introduce like when you put so much value in something that's not even real, that takes away from
Humanity.
humanity. That
Yeah.
takes away from me looking at you as a person as opposed to looking at you as just a
Paycheck.
sale or a
Yeah.
check or
Yeah.
whatever, or just
Nah,
a
for sure.
bug to step on so that I can get, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for
Like
sure.
when our leaders no longer look at people as people anymore and just look at them as numbers and zeros and taxpayers.
Yeah.
What does that say about, and is that, what does that say about the society that you live in? And is that something that's should be celebrated? Right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like we human beings, like this was a man-made creation, right? Like this whole monetary system that's
Yeah.
built on the select few at the top. Because that's another thing.
Yeah.
We're not all equal. Like everybody that has an opinion on the subject isn't an equal owner in the shit that's going on. All
Agreed.
right. So me and you having a like, it's still only a select people at the top of the list
That make the decision.
that make the decisions and benefit
Yeah.
at large. Right.
Nah, for sure.
So that'd be the thing I'm thinking about. It's like when you look at where all the money goes, it's in a handful. Like the money flows and like all of it is going to a handful.
Yeah.
And that's real. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I agree. Um, I agree, and it's sad that kind of it's just like we was born here one day, and it was a system, and it's like you really can't even control it. Well, you
Yeah,
can control it unless you make it your life's mission. But we just trying to take care of our families and do
that's
our
where they
goals and
sell
dreams.
you. Like I think that's where you get sold. Again, like in America, individualism is like the selling point. All
Yeah,
right, like we are almost pushed from childhood all the way to adulthood to go out and be an individual. All right,
yeah,
and that puts a lot more stress on the individual when we live like that, because people, like I was saying, we're communal. We're not meant to do it alone. All right, like
agreed.
I read this book called The Hunt Gather Parent, by an author named Michaeline Duclef, I think. But she wrote a book about ancient cultures, like hunt gather. She studied a bunch of like hunt gather civilizations that are still around today.
Okay,
So she went to like the Hadzabe tribe in Africa. She went and hung out with like some like the Incans, like
okay,
people that like Aztec culture, indigenous to like that part of the world. She went up to like, oh man, I can't remember what it's called, but like I think there's like indigenous people that are like up like in like the northern Arctic region as well. She
okay.
spent a lot of time with these people, and what she realized was like there's common threads between the way that indigenous people live, right? And especially the way that they raise their young. Nobody does it alone, right?
Yeah,
No, they're like the nuclear family that is mom, dad, sister, brother doesn't exist in a indigenous sense. Like there is no, it's tribal, bro. So like when the kids are born, there's like they already come into a family where they're raised by, it's a multi-generational household. Grandma lives in the house, grandpa lives in the house, uncles around, like cousins are around.
yeah,
There's a unique sense of stability that comes from the community. And as a parent, you don't have the pressure of having to do everything all by yourself, right? And if you don't know about that and you just do what America tells you to do and send your kids to daycare and then send them to school and then go to work, you end up living your whole life and you only spend 10 hours a week with your children,
yeah,
right? You see them on the weekends. You so burnt out from work, you barely have time to give them on the weekends,
for sure.
and your whole life is spent in a chase, in a rat race, right? When I think about that, it makes me think, wow, we've lost a lot as a society in our pursuit of things, of material goods. We've lost a lot of substance. And I
Yeah.
think that substance is what makes the human experience,
Yeah.
right? Like, what is this place when we lose our humanity and we're just AI, robots, transactions?
Yeah.
What is this place once we no longer, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's really probably my biggest concern in the world is like, bro, we're losing parts of humanity. The way that we have to look at, like, we have to change the way that we see things. It's the frame. That's always my
Yeah.
biggest talking point is like, or maybe is there another way we can kind of look at this to try to, because I don't know. I just think this can't be it. Like, this can't be the pinnacle of human evolution. We got this far just to make cool cameras and microphones and AI and
Yeah.
ChatGPT, but like we can't figure out how to live with each other. Like the
Yeah.
threat that every decade there could be another world war, or like that will annihilate ourselves from, not being able to treat the earth properly, and like,
Yeah.
like those things like that is like, bro, these are things that we control. We make these decisions day in and day out. But
No,
if
for
we're
sure.
not willing to accept a new framework or accept a new way to see the world, then those things will never change. They'll stay the same. In fact, they'll get worse, and we
So
suffer.
I agree with you. So as a person who we say we can't really control, what frame do we have to, you feel like we have to adopt as people who really can't really control unless we try to go control in that
Mm,
same frame? Like,
mm.
you see what I'm saying?
You're saying since we're not like in positions of power,
Because only the people who in power can change the frame. Like, if we change our frame, what does that really do? If the people aren't at the top
people
still.
don't realize, people don't understand their power, bro. People don't understand how powerful we actually are together, right? Um, there's a movie, like a kids movie, called Ants, and it was one of the scenes in that movie where like the general ant is telling everybody, he's telling all the other ants, like, I wish he could pull up the clip, but like he's like telling all the ants, like don't you realize if they come together, they're like, don't you realize that like we don't want them to come together, right? If all the ants came together, they would defeat us as soon as they wanted to,
Yeah,
right? And I think that's kind of the similar mindset in our society is like, if all of us just came together, like,
I
okay,
agree.
let me ask you this, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Um, the the oil industry. I watched a show, Landman, right? They were saying the oil industry, um like the consumer oil industry produces like $3 billion in profit a day,
sheesh.
right? That's one industry producing that much profit. But let's say like, you know, we didn't agree with their practices, or their whatever, like one of the Exxon Mobil, I don't know, it's
Okay.
one of their people, let's just say for example that we didn't agree with how they lived or what their practices were. If we all came together and decided, yo, we done, like we're not shopping with it, like people just don't understand the power of coming together. Like, we got here, the reason why black people are even integrated into the world is because we said we don't like how they treating us on these buses, so we're gonna stop riding buses for a year. They did. In
Yeah,
Montgomery, Alabama, they stopped riding buses for a year straight, and it impacted the financial system. Okay, we're seeing less revenue. That means, because people don't understand racism, imperialism, hatred, it costs. There's a cost to hatred, right? There's a cost to being, you know, dangerous on a people, right? People don't understand that though. And I
yeah,
think that once you understand, okay, you know, like it just costs, like it costs to be mean, bro. Like it, and it doesn't, and most of the time it doesn't, like it's not worth it. It's
yeah,
easier in my opinion to lead with love, to connect, to
yeah.
build that way. um yeah.
So I totally agree with you. If we all came together, then we could topple government, we could topple systems, we could topple financial markets.
Yeah.
But I'm saying as a person,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like correct me if I'm wrong. So in order to galvanize the troops,
Mm-hmm.
like let's say you have a great perspective,
Mm-hmm.
but in order to plug that into the world,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to take effort and really like, okay, every day that's my mission.
Yeah.
It's like, but a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm saying for that person who don't want to galvanize the
And
troops.
there's reasons for that too. Like everything that we saying right now is like 1,000 layers deeper. Every time we say something else, I'm just thinking of different ways that we can peel that back. Because what happens when our leaders rise, right? Like this government has, like Fred Hampton was killed at age 21, right? He was the leader of the Black Panthers,
Okay.
right? Um, at the time of his death, he was like marked as like one of the biggest threats to like the United States democracy. He was born in the United States, black man born in the United States, descendant of slaves, just like all of us, right? And United States CIA put him. He was like one of the most like wanted people. He was labeled like a terrorist, right? Um, and he was killed because he was a socialist, essentially. He was a black American socialist. He said it was his life mission for the people, right? He was going to do it all for the people. He did free lunch programs. He actually integrated, like, he trained, like, he job trained, and like everything that we talking about, he went out and said, all right, I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm gonna go out here and do it in the community. And what I'm saying is our leaders have been systematically taken out, right? And it's because that is a threat to the power system, right? People don't
Okay.
understand that, like, when you dealing with a system that's controlled by so few, those people are fighting to maintain control day
Agreed.
in and day out. So there is constant scans all over the world looking for that next leader, looking for that next person that's gonna come in. And those people are often extracted, like, or put set on a different path, hook them on the drug, like things like that happen, right? And it's because you pose a threat. You pose a threat to society at large.
For sure.
Because if those changes were actually to be